Welcome to Let's Talk Dementia. I am Carol Howell, your host, and I'm glad you've chosen to join me today. As always, we're going to talk about dementia and dementia caregiving, and I hope that something I say on this video will help you in your caregiving journey and also maybe bring a smile to your life. My mom has advancing Alzheimer's. I know what it's like to be a caregiver. I know what it's like to be tired, and I know what it's like to be frustrated, and I know what it's like to be confused. I also know what it's like to sit here in this office and try to record a quiet video while my dog chases the cat under my desk. That's what happens when your animals are at work, huh? So just pretend you don't hear all that other noise, and hopefully she won't bark at him. Well, today I wanted to talk with you about a statement that was made by one of my clients when she was in the office with a one-on-one session that her and I had. She was talking about the difficulty her husband has getting dressed. And we have learned that he has early onset Alzheimer's with a very good possibility of some Parkinson's mixed in there. He has a tough journey, he really does, and his family has a terribly tough journey caregiving, and my heart goes out to them. Excuse this voice. I am getting over the second bout of laryngitis. I don't know who's trying to tell me what, but maybe I talk too much. But anyway, she said that as he was getting dressed one day, he was putting a sweater or a turtleneck kind of shirt, or maybe it was a sweatshirt on over his head, where he had to, put it in, stick his head through the head hole, and then the arms to get that shirt on. And he felt like he was choking, that he was lost inside of that sweater, and began to panic. He couldn't figure out how to get out of it, or how to get his head through the actual head hole, the neck opening. It's not a head hole, is it? It's a neck opening. He couldn't figure out how to get his head through there, and he began to panic because he was stuck inside of this, and it scared him so. And that is not a good thing, and that is something that should not happen to our loved ones. Once we've experienced it once, stop. What is it? Time out? That's what it is. Time out. I don't know. I'm not into football. But anyway, just stop it and don't allow that to happen again, because that is one of the few things in our caregiving world we can fix. So what she did was then she proceeded to buy some of the zip up the front hoodie kind of shirts, because it's winter time, and so she just bought the zip up the front hoodies, and she could help him get the zipper started, and then he could proceed to actually finish the zipping. And for him right now, that is a nice simple solution. So I thought that was pretty amazing, and a really good idea of her to come up with. Now, why didn't she buy him button-up front shirts? Well, that would solve the problem too. You're not going to get lost. Your head's not going to get lost in a button-up the front shirt. But especially if we're dealing with Parkinson's, the ability to take the button and the buttonhole and to put them together and make that happen, that's hard to do. For many of us, that's hard to do for reasons that are not cognitive. It may be neuropathy in our hands, or maybe our vision is such that we can't look down and clearly get those bifocals adjusted just right so that we can see the button and the buttonhole and get them lined up right. But you throw Parkinson's or any other cognitive issue into the mix, then the ability for the brain to say, move the right hand up and the left hand down, or whatever, to line them up, that becomes very difficult. So she didn't put her husband in that position. Thought that was very smart of her, and I admired her thinking outside of the box. Now when summertime comes, she's going to have to think of something different. But you know what? There are companies who make clothes for men and women who have Parkinson's that make it easy for them to get dressed. They have a line of men's dress shirts that look just like a button up the front with the collar, but they don't. They actually, it comes across and it velcros shut all the way down. But there are buttons, and it looks like they have on a normal Oxford shirt or whatever. I think that's really neat. I'm going to see, can I find that link and put it in the show notes below. Well, I hope that gives you something to think about in your loved one's journey of dementia, whatever the reason for their dementia is, with all that they have to deal with, things that we cannot fix, and how we wish we could fix them, but we can't. That's something we can fix. So let's do that. Let's not allow them to spend any time getting dressed and being frustrated or scared or agitated in any way. I will tell you something that causes that agitation for my mom was putting on her bra, because she had to hook it behind her. That's difficult to do. I don't know if you remember when you first, as a female, started wearing a bra, but that ability to line up the two sides and get them to hook was something you had to learn how to do. But now the brain is damaged, and the brain can't do that. So that became a very agitating experience for Mom. And so now we make sure that the caregivers are there to help get her dressed and undressed. I have a client who is using over-the-head sports bras for her mom, and I'm glad it works for her mom. That's kind of odd that it would, because you can get lost in those sports bras. Have you ever put one on? I mean, you can get it on and it's all tangled up in the back and you're trying to fight it and get it down. So I haven't done that with Mama, but it might work with your loved one. So something to think about in your caregiving journey. If you haven't yet done so, please hop on over to Amazon and check out our Amazon #1 best-selling book called Let's Talk Dementia. It is full of good caregiving tips that will help you in your caregiving journey, and my Southern way of talking is absolutely evident in this book, and there's some humor in there too. We have the podcast on iTunes called Let's Talk Dementia, and be sure to subscribe to this video series. We are trying so hard to build our following, and if you'll do the thumbs up button and subscribe, then you'll know when something new is coming up. Well, I always like to give you something funny for your day, and here you go. What did one geologist say to the other while they both stared down at a giant fissure in the rocks? What did they say? They said, "I wonder whose fault that is." As you go about your caregiving journey, I hope you smile. I hope you find joy. And I hope that if you have questions or comments that you'll write me or leave me a message below. And my email is carol@letstalkdementia.org. Blessings and smiles on your day.
Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel. When you subscribe, you'll be able to stay up to date on our latest videos, and all of the videos are free. Check out my book, Let's Talk Dementia. It is available on Amazon. The link is in the description below. Blessings and smiles.